In the previous unit, we discovered what is intelligent robotic process automation. In this unit, we are going to see an overview of our solution and tools. In terms of tools, we'll talk about the desktop agent, the cloud factory, and finally the desktop studio. Let's start with the solution overview. Some key concepts of intelligent RPA. It comes often with an unattended bot, the digital worker. From a technical standpoint, it is deployed on a server. It will be executed through a schedule or a trigger. From a functional standpoint, it aims to lower manual processes, often repetitive with lower added value. When well identified and designed, it could cover a whole process, for example, automate a purchase order. On the other hand, we often talk about attended bot, digital assistant. From a technical standpoint, it is deployed on a user workstation, triggered by a user. The goal, from a functional standpoint, is to ease manual processes, simplify them, increase the user performance. Some area of the process can be automated, but at the end, the user is in control. What is intelligent RPA without orchestration, without control? We provide a solution which is accessible with simply an internet browser, a cloud-based solution for managing all process automation resources. Have you identified an end-to-end process, maybe simple with few decisions to take, or even complex? It needs to be designed. Process automation is designed through an on-premise tool. All authoring tasks related to process automation are performed through this tool. It starts from the capturing the application, build workflow, and much more. In your company landscape, you have servers, business applications that were purchased, customized, or even developed. Your company has, meantime, started to use cloud services with its different flavors, like platform as services, software services, infrastructure as a services. Some of these applications are internet connected, some are not. And maybe you will ask, who is making the glue between applications not connected? Who is going to enter again and again duplicated information? The user. Intelligent robotic process automations comes with three main components. The first is responsible for orchestration and monitoring. It's a cloud-based solution powered by SAP Cloud Platform. No deployment required, simply a web browser. The second one is responsible for project development of process automation. You deploy only on process automation developers' workstation. The third is responsible for executing the process automation. A line of business can run as attended mode, and if some processes can run in a way that direct human interaction is not required, we are talking about unattended mode, a digital worker mode. Both components will be linked with the cloud securely. Intelligent robotic process automation is a robust and scalable solution. Its functional coverage is able to solve both attended and unattended use cases. Using JavaScript language, it makes even easier from a development standpoint to jump into a project. The framework is fully extensible. One key element is the open mindset to third parties. Java-based, native Windows applications, legacy applications are already working out of the box. And virtualization protocols are also working, making communication between applications and bot efficient. It works for simple projects or for complex projects, involving a large number of screens, application types. Today, you start with a project, but it could require changes over time. Thanks to its robust scripting language, modification can be tracked. UI elements are clearly identified thanks to a powerful graphical design. Debugging can be done locally or remotely. Once your project is compiled, deployment to workstations does not require significant memory consumption. Also, compared to other solutions in the market, fast response time is a key differentiator. As we saw previously, here are the three main components of intelligent robotic process automation. Desktop agent is responsible for executing process automation. Cloud Factory, which covers all the orchestration and monitoring aspects. Desktop Studio, which is used for authoring the process automation. Let's start with the desktop agent. Desktop agent is able to work with a wide range of applications and technologies. Web application, custom application built with native Windows APIs, Java-based application, terminal applications, and so on. And access to dedicated applications such as Microsoft Office, Subgrid. Desktop agent is able also to build your tailored user interface, where services protocol can be used to talk with on-premise or cloud-based application. To do so, the agent is using a powerful and accessible script language based on JavaScript. For each technologies, connectors have been developed to work as close as possible with them. The agent will simply leverage the user profile, the Windows credentials. Once installed, administrator privileges are never required. When it runs as digital assistant, the agent is able to start applications in full screen or compact mode. And more interesting, the digital agent can display graphical forms or banners specifically dedicated to help the user in his daily work, such as a 360 view, tooltips, and so on. As you can see on the right, the assistant is used as a guidance for performing the main tasks for an end user, because sometimes final approval is still required. Simply by adding a confirmation, it helps user adoption. The assistant mode can be used in a lot of cases, such as training, contextual help, quick launch. Such UIs can be built thanks to the Desktop Studio, as we'll see later in this presentation. Trust registration to the Cloud Factory is secured. An agent must be allowed prior to connect to the Cloud Factory. We have a strong authentication mechanism, and we use WebSockets protocol to establish the connection from the agent to the cloud. Execution is still happening on-premise, and connection to the Cloud Factory is required. High-level jobs information on the cloud for attended and unattended usage. Let's review the Cloud Factory. Cloud Factory is a 2D master space for orchestration and monitoring. In the coming releases, additional capabilities will happen. Today, the factory is responsible for managing the hierarchies, agents or logins, manage environments, development, test, production, import and deploy packages from the studio, and monitor jobs executions. During the next slide, we will get more in the details. Prior to use the whole solution, you need to declare the agent structure. This is done by importing a CSV file or simply one by one. For a given hierarchy, a node, or even for an agent, you can allocate time for unattended usage. In case of a mixed deployment, this can be useful. Intelligent RPA takes into account at the early stage the concept of dev, test, prod. However, you can define several environments. Maybe you want to separate finance from supply chain or location to another location. Once created, you simply bind to a well-known type and link to a hierarchy by using a variable. The packages and deployment tabs are the activity that you will use a lot at the beginning of your project. From here, you have a view of all available packages. A package without a configuration, without triggers, has no meaning. A configuration is a rules that a deployed package will use to perform its purpose. In attended usage, you simply define the environment and the date ranges. In unattended usage, you can specify, in addition, which scenario will be used. A powerful planner gives you the ability to define some time window for which a process should be executed or not. And for unattended usage, you can define the schedule from minutes to months. Within the dashboard, you've got a list of recent failed jobs. The next tile will display ongoing jobs with some additional information. The agents tile will display all information about non-agents with a status, such as which agents are currently connected, which agents are idle, busy, or connected or not connected. At the you got an history of all the executed jobs, whether it's successful, cancel, fail, and on a 2-day, weekly, or monthly basis. And you can drill down to the detail from the tile or from the chart. Now, an important piece of the solution, the Desktop Studio. The Desktop Studio is a suite of tools which is an integrated development environment focusing on process automation development. It covers the specification and the development perspective with an application capture, a code editor, and a workflow designer, and many more. Through its built-in debugger, local or remote tests are doable. With the application capture, you can declare and identify all UI elements of your application. This is done through a graphical user interface and a powerful UI inspectors. In addition, a validation wizard helps you to check where the completeness and uniqueness of your AI elements. SAP for Windows is supported. We even improved our web driver for SAP UI5, which is used by S4HANA, and even a lot of applications now. We added a method such as wait ready for ensuring UI is able to respond to next actions. A better support of UI5 based on application when running in the background. You can bootstrap your project with a workflow designer perspective. With a workflow designer, you identify the key workflows. You can even use for a quick specification or a documentation of the business process you would like to automate. Once the workflow is completed, code generation can happen with a one-click button. Take some time to review, add comments, and make all necessary adjustments and improvements. Managing scripting language, a JavaScript framework based on which is generated from the workflow designer or created directly. You have several wizards for your projects, your scenarios. Code generation is automated from screen captures. While you are doing coding, you have helpers like syntax checking, auto-completion. At any time, you can navigate between objects and code. You have access to the SDK, the framework, the libraries, and plugins. You have also access to HTML page, templates, samples, and tutorials. It is important to test early during the automation. So to do so, you have a full JavaScript debugger with step-by-step local variables, test console, page, event, scenario viewers, and many more. Helper for regression testings. But even with good dev habits, sometimes you need to solve issue later on. For this purpose, you can count on the replay mode for remote investigations. You can replay tasks, capture on the end-user desktops on user consent. Application detection, modifications detection, diagnosis functions to gather incidents or specific cases. Finally, let's review the major steps of project delivery. It starts with the studio, the SDK, which includes the framework, plugins, and common resources. The project itself, which includes the code, the resources, and application declarations. They are all merged into a package. The package contains all resources needed, such as a compiled project and scenarios, framework, and so on. You import your package within the factory. Factory will allow to create configurations, triggers, and will make care of job delivery and monitoring. Packaged are now distributed to agents. When a user triggers it, it creates behind the scene a job. With an event, such as a schedule, agents running in unattended mode will proceed the job. Let's conclude this unit. Intelligent robotic process automation aims to accelerate the digital transformation by automatically replicating actions that have a lower added value. It provides a suite of tools, cloud and on-premise, and a growing ecosystem which can work for both attended and unattended usage. It works with a wide range of applications and technologies. It is powered by SAP Cloud Platform, machine learning, and AI. The desktop agent is responsible for executing the process automation. The Cloud Factory is responsible for orchestration and monitoring the process automation. And the Desktop Studio is focusing on defining the process automation. And that's all for the solution and tools overview. In the next unit, we'll do an end-to-end demo.